morning in a quiet village deep in the forest. Families go about their daily lives, unaware that their world is about to be turned upside down. Suddenly, a terrifying roar of war horns echoes through the trees. An army of Maya nobles, ruthless and bloodthirsty, storms the village, setting everything ablaze. Screams fill the air as warriors slaughter anyone who dares to resist. Amidst the chaos, Jones, a young warrior and loving father, realizes that there is no way to fight back. Not yet. His first instinct is to protect his wife and young son. In a desperate move, Jones uses vines to lower them into a deep pit, whispering a promise that he will return for them. Just as they disappear into the darkness below, the invaders arrive. Jones speeds up the descent and ties off the vines, but his heart pounds as he turns to face the enemy. His tribe is still under attack, and he knows he must help them survive. With fierce determination, Jones rushes into battle alongside his fellow villagers. Blades clash and blood spills, but the Mayan warriors are too powerful. Just as Jones is about to strike one of them down, their leader intervenes, stopping the fight. Jones freezes in shock when he sees his father captured among the villagers. The leader, seeing Jones's reaction, orders his men to execute the old man right in front of his son. In a brutal moment, Jones watches helplessly as his father is murdered, then struck unconscious by a single devastating blow. When he awakens, Jones finds himself bound and surrounded by captives. He turns his head ever so slightly in their direction. The Mayans investigate, following the vines to the pit. At first, they see nothing unusual below. Then, one warrior picks up a massive stone and hurls it into the darkness. Jones's wife, clutching their son tightly, the Mayans cut the vines, leaving Jones terrified as he watches them fall. He silently vows, "I will come back for you." The captives are forced to march through dense jungles and roaring rivers. Exhausted and starving, they arrive at a massive Mayan city, a place that looks like hell on earth. Slaves toil endlessly, coughing up blood and collapsing under the weight of their labor. Soon, the men are smeared with blue paint, prepared for a gruesome ritual. Jones and others are dragged to a towering altar. Before his eyes, a severed head rolls down the stone steps. The crowd erupts in cheers, worshipping the serpent god. Jones's turn comes next. Hopeless, he lays on the altar, staring up at the sky, when suddenly a solar eclipse darkens the world. Terrified, the Mayans fall silent, believing they've angered the gods. Thinking quickly, the high priest proclaims that the gods are satisfied with the bloodshed and no more sacrifices are needed. The sun reappears and the crowd erupts in relief. By sheer luck, Jones escapes certain death. But his nightmare isn't over. Jones and the other survivors are taken to a training field. Here they are told they can win their freedom if they can escape while being hunted. As the captives run, Mayan warriors unleash a storm of arrows and spears. One by one, Jones's companions are struck down. Determined to survive, Jones uses his quick reflexes to dodge every attack. When the leader's own son enters the hunt, Jones fights back fiercely, using a broken arrowhead as a weapon. In a shocking twist, Jones kills the leader's son. Overcome with rage, the leader vows vengeance and orders his men to hunt Jones without mercy. Jones flees into a massive cornfield, then into the primeval forest. He climbs a towering tree to hide, but his wound bleeds, leaving a dangerous trail. Below him, a single drop of blood lands on a Mayan warrior's shoulder. Luckily, the warrior doesn't notice. But Jones's relief is short-lived. Above him, a black panther snarls, its golden eyes locked on him. As Mayan hunters surround the tree, the panther leaps, not at Jones, but at the hunters, tearing them apart. Jones seizes the opportunity to escape. Bloodied and exhausted, Jones keeps running. He chews tree bark, using its resin to treat his wound, but his pursuers are relentless. Along the way, he crafts deadly traps using his surroundings. He wraps a wasp nest in leaves and hurls it at his enemies, sending them screaming in pain. He captures a poisonous frog, smearing its venom on sharpened thorns to create deadly darts. One by one, Jones turns the hunters into prey, ambushing them with precision and rage. Each kill brings him closer to his ultimate goal, saving his family. Meanwhile, back at the pit, Jones's wife fights for survival. As rain pours down, the pit begins to flood with water. To make matters worse, a wild panther falls in, forcing her to defend herself and their child. By sheer determination, she kills the beast, but the water keeps rising. Time is running out. Jones's final confrontation begins during a relentless storm. He faces the Mayan leader, the man responsible for his father's death. Despite his injuries, Jones fights fiercely, leading his enemy into a trap. Suddenly, everyone freezes. Out on the horizon, massive ships appear, Spanish conquistadors arriving in the New World. The Mayans, terrified of these strangers and their weapons, abandon the fight and rush to the shore. Seizing the moment, Jones races back to the pit. The water has risen dangerously high, but his wife is alive, and now holding their newborn baby, born during the chaos. As dawn breaks and the storm clears, Jones leads his family deep into the forest, finally free. Though their future is uncertain, they have each other and the will to survive.